Drake's Family Matters and Kendrick Lamar's Meet the Grams are two of the most jaw-dropping rap disses in history, but not for the reasons you think. Real ones, get on in here and let me know what y'all think, because the last 12 hours have been a whirlwind of shade, beef, and some really serious allegations. Back when I was at Genius, I made a video talking about how hip-hop beef can cross the line that covered everything from Ja Rule dissing Eminem's daughter Haley to Jay-Z having to apologize for sleeping with Nas's baby mother and making a song about it on Super Ugly. Basically what I'm trying to say is that it always gets bad and escalates when family is mentioned, and often family and the women attached to these family are left as collateral damage in these wars. And I've spent a lot of time talking about the 10+ year Cold War that's been going on between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Effectively, the two of them had nuclear weapons aimed at each other. But the thing about fighting with nukes is that when you aim them at each other, you don't know where the fallout's going to go. I truly believe that when Kendrick Lamar dropped that verse on Like That, he was trying to keep it as a lyrical thing. But Kendrick has been baiting Drake into this in the entire time, and my read is that it could have gone in a number of ways. But the moment that Drake mentioned Kendrick Lamar's fiance, Whitney, on Push-Ups, things changed. Drake has mentioned women in rap beefs before to his detriment, and I think in this instance we're seeing another example of that. I mean, shit, on Euphoria, Kendrick said this: "We ain't gotta get personal, this is a friendly fade, you should keep it that way. I know some shit about niggas that make Gunna wanna look like a saint." And judging by what we heard on Meet the Grams, Gunna is looking like the Pope right now. Starting with Drake's Family Matters, which dropped last night, May 3rd around 11:30, it's another song that's similar to Push-Ups. It's sonically good, upbeat, and aimed at everyone, but mostly at Kendrick. It starts right here: "I've emptied the clip over friendlier jabs. You mentioned my seed, now deal with his dad. I gotta go bad, I gotta go bad." It feels like Drake is referencing the bars in Euphoria where Kendrick Lamar was going at Drake's parenting, which in hindsight is an escalation. But that's the thing with nuclear weapons. When you are fighting with nuclear weapons, the escalations are serious. On Family Matters, Drake goes at Dave Free, Kendrick Lamar's former manager and now business partner, saying that he could be the father of Kendrick's child, where he says this: "I heard that one of them little kids might be Dave Free. Don't make it Dave Freeze, cause if your GM is your BM secret BD, then this is all making plenty fucking sense to me." He also goes at Kendrick Lamar's Messiah complex with this clever bar right here: "You the black Messiah wifing up a mixed queen and hit vanilla cream to help out with your self-esteem," directly bringing up Kendrick Lamar's admission of sleeping with a white woman on Worldwide Steppers. There are more allegations on Family Matters, but the biggest one is where Drake alleges that Kendrick Lamar put hands on his fiance, with this bar right here: "They hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat on your queen. The picture you painted ain't what it seemed. You're dead." The crazy part about this is today, Media Takeout posted an article saying that they had received a story that Kendrick had assaulted a woman at a show in 2014, and that they were pressured to take it down, and after doing some investigations, they did. The fact that Media Takeout would admit this and that they took it down really speaks to their credibility in the first place, but that's another story. Now, there are other things in Family Matters that aimed at Kendrick Lamar, calling out his gang ties, calling him short, with this clever bar admittedly right here: "When you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense cause she bigger than you?" That's out of pocket, but I guess it's clever, and it kind of falls in line with the other stupid Drake short jokes that he's been aiming at Kendrick Lamar. Now, while I was on live listening to Family Matters, we found out that Kendrick Lamar had dropped again. The song was called Meet the Grams and was effectively making good on his promise to make Gunna look like the Pope. The single cover was a fuller version of the cover for 616, which was just a Maybach glove, but this time it was zoomed out, and in the picture you saw what appears to be Drake's dad's shirt, you saw the Maybach glove, you saw a prescription for Ozempic and also a sleep aid, and you saw some popular jewelry receipts, which clearly shows that Drake has a mole in his camp, because how did Kendrick get all this stuff? You see, both of these artists keep saying, "Hey, don't bring up family, otherwise I'm going to escalate." And then they proceed to bring up family and further escalate. But on Meet the Grams though, this escalation might be one of the darkest songs that Kendrick Lamar has ever made. And as a rap diss, knowing my history of it and knowing how rap disses sometimes have to be dark in order to hit the mark, it surely does that. But to what end? In the song, Kendrick Lamar channels Eminem and the way that Eminem is able to personify different characters in his music. Kendrick raps from the perspective about someone speaking to Drake's family about his misgivings, starting additionally talking to Drake's son. He again goes for Drake's parenting, where he says this right here: "Life is hard, I know. The challenge is always gonna beat us home. Sometimes our parents make mistakes that affect us until we grown. And you're a good kid that need good leadership. Let me be your mentor since your daddy don't teach you shit." He later goes at Drake's baby mother, Sophie Brousseau, who is a former adult model, where he says this: "Never fall into the escort business. That's bad religion. And please remember, you could be a bitch even if you got bitches." Withering, absolutely withering. And he continues by going at Drake's use of plastic surgery right here: "Don't cut them corners like your daddy did. fuck what Ozempic did. Don't pay to play with them Brazilians, get a gym membership. I have no problem with people going at Drake over his use of plastic surgery, although I do believe men and anyone else should be able to get plastic surgery if they want. The thing with Drake is, if you're going to get at women for getting plastic surgery, you should be more than willing to take the shots that are gonna come your way, pun intended. On the second verse, Kendrick Lamar ups the ante even more, talking to Drake's parents, Dennis and Sandra. He flat out says that Drake has been doing some weird shit and therefore wishes his death. He says this right here: "Sandra, sit down. What I'm about to say is heavy. Now listen. Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think niggas like him should die. Him and Weinstein should get fucked up in a cell for the rest of their life." Even reading those bars just feels so dark. One, if Drake did any of these things, Jesus Christ. And two, how have we gotten this far in a rap beef? This is crazy. Kendrick Lamar then includes these bars, which I think are some of the darkest bars that Kendrick Lamar has ever spit, right here. He got sex offenders on OVO that he keep on monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised and he keeping his child around them. And we gotta raise our daughters knowing there's predators like him lurking. Fuck a rap battle. He should die so all these women can live with a purpose. Kendrick Lamar has slowly been teasing that Drake is a predator on so many different songs, even though Drake tried to neuter that diss angle against him on Taylor Made freestyle. Something that I just realized on 6/16, the song that dropped yesterday morning, he starts it off by saying this: "Off-white Sunseeker at the marina. Fuck a phantom, I like to buy yachts when I get the fever." Sunseeker makes a type of yacht called the Predator. Off-white Sunseeker. He's basically saying that Drake is a predator because Drake's skin color is off-white. And with the having sex offenders on the payroll, he's talking about Baka Not Nice, who was convicted for sex trafficking and actually came home for that, who is still pretty cool with Drake. On top of that, there's a litany of other weird instances with Drake and young women that I don't even feel like going through at the moment. Again, these allegations are making Gunna look like the second coming of Jesus Christ. Kendrick then mentions how the embassy, Drake's compound in Toronto, is going to get raided similar to how Diddy's was raided in Miami. He ends that verse by telling Steph Curry and LeBron James to keep their families away from him. The third verse is where Kendrick Lamar reveals that Drake has another child and that she is supposedly 11 years old. Right here: "Dear baby girl, I'm sorry that your father not active inside your world. He don't commit too much, but his music, yeah, that's for sure. He a narcissist, misogynist living inside his songs." Now there is a tweet from 2012 of Drake tweeting baby girl, but that can mean absolutely anything. Also, Drake immediately came out last night on AG to deny this, and his connects went to TMZ to also deny it as well. But they didn't deny all the sexual assault things that were mentioned in verse 2, which is interesting to me. Maybe he feels like they're so salacious that he doesn't need to say anything, but you think that you would also be as interested in knocking those down as you are about having another child. On the final verse, Kendrick aims it directly at Drake himself, calling him by his government name, talking about his gambling problems, talking about his sexual deviancy. Honestly, I cannot believe that some of these lyrics Kendrick spat them, and as a rap diss, it is damning. When I started this video, I said that Family Matters and Meet the Grams are two of the most jaw-dropping rap disses of all time. Not because of their audacity, but because of the amount of collateral damage that is in them. I haven't heard many diss tracks that really leave so many people's families in absolute shambles after this. And you know what? Let's remember, these people, we have nothing to do with them. We just have parasocial relationships with them. We're not in their group chats. We're not related to them. We're not involved in them at all. They're rich folks arguing about rich people stuff at this point. As a rap diss, I feel like Kendrick Lamar's Meet the Grams is dark, not funny, and a visceral kill shot up there with No Vaseline, Hail Mary, and Ether. But it is also a serious turn of events that continues the hip-hop tradition of using women and family members as collateral damage as a way to get at your adversaries. And we are in historic times, but also history repeats itself. In that fact, nothing has changed. Something that Wayno said is that he wanted to see these artists effectively go at each other on a rap level. And for a while, I thought that's what Kendrick was doing. Yesterday in my video on 6/16, that's what I said. I feel like Drake was coming at Kendrick with dirt, but Kendrick was gonna come at Drake with hard-hitting lyrics. Kendrick came at Drake with dirt, and when you play in the dirt, you both get messy. Personally, in a battle sense, I feel like Kendrick Lamar is running away with this. I don't know how Drake comes back from it, but I also am kind of looking at Kendrick a little differently after this. It's also just very like, wow, this is some twisted shit. Anyways, let me know what y'all think. Drop a W if you made it this far. If you want to support me, right here's how you do it. It's your boy Jacques. Shout outs to the real ones. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.